just like enthalpy and other thermodynamic properties, yung standard molar entropy can be accessed or obtained from your tables. And in your books and in some other handbooks or some other sources, marami ka doon makakita ng values for different compounds so that you can actually compute for the entropy of reaction. And all you have to do is to apply this equation na nakikita ninyo ngayon. Basically, you just take the sum of all the standard molar entropies of all the products. Of course, you have to multiply first by the coefficient in your reaction. And then, i-subtract mo doon yung kay reactants naman. So let's have this exercise wherein we want to predict the direction of this reaction. So you have your nitrogen gas plus oxygen gas forming NO at 25 degrees Celsius. Now, ang kailangan dito is yung mga values ni standard molar entropy. So let me give you that. So here, and I also gave here your enthalpies of formation for the different compounds or species in the reaction. Of course, the nitrogen tsaka si oxygen gas, since they're in their standard states and the temperature sa standard temperature, naturally yung kanilang enthalpy of formation will be 0, but your NO will have 90.4 kilojoules per mole. So let's go ahead and calculate the entropy of reaction for this example. So to get the entropy of reaction, gagawin natin, we will take the sum of the entropies of the product. So yung product dito is just your NO. So just multiply the coefficient 2 by the value of your entropy, which is 210.6, minus the sum of that of your products, or the reactants rather. So for nitrogen gas, that's 191. And for oxygen gas, that's 205. So ang lalabas na sagot dito will be 24.6 joules per Kelvin mole. So yan na yung entropy mismo ng reaction. Now, can we conclude already kung spontaneous ba or hindi yung reaction? So we cannot do that yet because entropy of reaction or entropy of the system pa lang yung natutukoy natin. Remember, for your process to be spontaneous, reaction man yan or any thermodynamic process, ang criteria for spontaneity is the entropy of the universe should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay? So yung entropy total or universe is equal to the contributions from your system, which is in this case reaction, and your surroundings. So ang natutukoy pa lang natin is the reaction entropy. So how about the entropy of the surrounding? How do we exactly obtain that value? So ang maganda dyan is use the fact that whatever heat given off by the process, or maybe heat na either na-release ng process or na-obtain, nakuha ng process, will in turn kukunin ni surrounding or i-contribute ni surrounding. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin is we will have to get the entropy, or rather the enthalpy of reaction. Okay, so yung enthalpy of reaction, you just have to refer to these values, right? So we have 90.4 times 2. Now, minus that of your products. No, it should be reactants, but these are just 0 in value. So, ang magiging sagot for the enthalpy of reaction is 180.8 kilojoules per mole. Okay, ano ngayon kung meron na tayong enthalpy of reaction? So, ang gagawin natin is we can compute for the entropy of the surrounding, okay, which is Yung 180.8 kilojoule per mole kasi, let's first convert to uh, joules per mole. Magiging 180.8 times 10 raised to 3 joules per mole. Now, that value, since positive siyang, ibig sabihin, heat should be supplied to the system. So, saan manggagaling yung heat na isusupply sa system? Eh di, syempre, sa surrounding. So, the surrounding will give off that heat. So, that would be minus 180.8 times 10 raised to negative 3 joules per mole divided by the temperature. So, that's how we calculate your entropy. So, ang temperature dito is 25 degrees, right? Or 298 Kelvin. Okay, so the answer here is negative 607 joules per Kelvin mole. So finally, we can get the entropy total, which is the sum of the entropies that we obtain. So yung una is 24.6. Tsaka yung sa surrounding naman is minus 607. So, taking the sum, you'll get negative 582.4 joules per Kelvin mole. And take note na ang nakuha nating sagot ay negative. Ang ibig sabihin lang yan, ang process na yan ay hindi spontaneous.